one of the first solid-body electric guitars was invented by jazz musician Les Paul in 1941. Now, in the early 50s, he joined forces with Gibson. And these days, worldwide, this guitar is pretty much the standard for novices and professional players.
When Les Paul, the legendary jazz guitarist, helped Gibson launch this masterpiece in 1952, right away, the signature sound and design of the Les Paul model made it the choice for guitar gods throughout rock and roll. The Gibson Guitar Factory in Nashville is where craftsmanship and science make beautiful music together. Hundreds of guitars leave here every day.
The factory here in Tennessee is literally heaven for guitars.
How do vibrating guitar strings generate electricity? We start with wood, 5 kinds of it. That's what it takes to produce the trademark Les Paul sound.
You know, the shop here at Gibson is a working wood shop. It's dangerous. A lot of saws, a lot of people riding around on pallets when they shouldn't be.
The guitar body of a Les Paul is mostly mahogany. It's used for structural stability, but it's wet when it comes through the door. That's a problem. Wet wood leads to warping, and warping leads to imperfect sound. So first we lower the percentage of moisture carefully.
We don't want the wood to turn and to curl and all that kind of stuff. We want it dry so that it's always going to be straight.
So you're looking for a goal of 10%?
Or 10% under is what you're looking for.
Under 10.
A conventional oven would take about a month to bake the water out. So to speed things up, Gibson uses a vacuum kiln, one that effectively vacuums away the moisture, reaching the 10% target in just 2 days.
The way it works is to take away the air and to lower the pressure inside the kiln while it's cooking the wood.
Lower the air pressure and water's boiling point plunges more than 100 degrees. In fact, by the time you get to the pressure inside this kiln, water boils at only 90 degrees Fahrenheit.
Our baked mahogany emerges like buns from the oven. We're close to turning all this wood into the bottom of a Les Paul guitar.
This is actually warm.
Yeah.
Now it's over to Bob Messman, who literally pieces together the bottom of the guitar. Now, most people think guitar bottoms are one big chunk of wood. They're actually 3 pieces glued together.
What do you call this?
Just a glue wheel.
The glue wheel.
90 guitar bottoms get on and off this Ferris wheel-looking contraption every hour.
Is there a trick?
My first body.
The glue is dry in just a couple of hours, and then it's into the router. Computers tell the router where to carve out spaces in the guitar body. Now, in these cavities, Gibson will install hardware down the line. This is a deafening, dusty process. Then these guitar bottoms, the backs, finally get tops, which become the fronts of the guitars. Now, the tops are made of maple. It's a beautiful wood. Some call it a tone wood because of the rich sound it helps produce.
The moment I get cocky is the moment I break something. All right. Top meets your bottom.
Good old glue with about 1,000 pounds per square inch marry the mahogany and maple.
Excellent work.
Then I tangle with a terrifying bandsaw.
That saw's a little intimidating. Wow, look at that.
Back into the router, and this assembly is really starting to hum. Of course, we still need to cut the neck of the guitar. Now, we've got to add more wood to one end of the neck to make it wide enough to hold the keys.
This is the neck of the guitar.
Yes, right.
But at the end, of course, the the end of every Gibson neck is wider.
Yeah.
With, what do you call those? The
Wing blocks. You put wing blocks on them.
So right now it's just basically
Piece of wood. Yeah.
a piece of wood.
Yeah.
The wing blocks go in the clamp, the neck is glued,
All right, it's cooking.
Same thing as microwave at home.
Same microwave oven you'd have at home.
That's right.
George, there's radiation coming out of here, and we don't want to fry your privates, George.
and in just seconds, our necks get their wings.
Push it.
The initial woodwork is done, and with that, we've created the bones of the most famous guitar in the world. Now, our neck needs some metal.
When you tighten all of the strings, they tend to pull the neck forward so that it bows like this. That makes it hard to keep the guitar in tune. The original solution to this problem was to use an awkwardly thick neck. But then one day, someone at Gibson had a brilliant idea. They cut a slot in the neck that's deeper in the middle than at the ends and inserted a metal truss. When they tighten this truss now, it pushes the middle forward so the whole neck arches like this. Not only does that help it fight the string tension and keep in tune, but they can adjust it over the life of the guitar to accommodate changes in climate or temperature.
With their truss rods in place, the necks move down the line to meet up with a critical part of the guitar, the frets.
These are the frets. This is one continuous fret, but essentially each piece will be a fret on a guitar neck. There is a ridge on the end of this fret, and it is this edge that's going to fit down in the pre-cut groove already in the neck.
It takes a while to catch on.
Every fret is installed by hand at Gibson. It's careful, expert work. It's just one example of the passion they pour into these guitars. Gibson hasn't found a machine that has a soft enough touch or works as fast or can exact the high quality needed at this critical assembly.
That's a great looking board. You did good.
Did I? All right.
There are two reasons for having frets. One of them is to lift the string off the fingerboard so it can vibrate more clearly. The other is to end the string at a very specific location to give it a sharply defined pitch.
When you say to give it a sharply defined pitch, you mean to give it a note?
Yeah. They're put in there at very specific locations to create the Western scale. Each one of these is a note on the Western scale. But you gotta get the fret height right. If the fret's too tall, the string will hit it as it vibrates.
The fretboard is glued to the neck, and together with my friend Tyler Parsons, we fit the neck to the body of the guitar, again, by hand.
Now, this is a true marriage right here. This is where the neck meets the body. Is that right, Tyler?
That is right.
It's like the space shuttle docking with the space station. All right. Now, how far down this clamp do I go?
You can go into the side of it. Usually go right into the side.
Oh, the side.
Like
Okay,
that,
now-
and then just twist it around to the right side right here.
The neck is actually too big to fit the guitar. I suppose they could make it so it would just slip in there nicely, but they want to make sure that it's custom fit. So that has to be done by hand, like everything else here at Gibson.
Throw some glue on that bad boy.
All right.
Make sure it's on all surfaces.
All surfaces. Now,
Make sure to put a little pressure pushing towards the back of the guitar when you're pulling down on it too. So kind of pull, there it is right there, man.
right on here.
Right on there, man.